I wanted to wait for these posts to clear up a bit more before I started filming this review, but that would actually contradict one of the major themes in this film. The lighting really isn't working out, so I'm changing the angle. Alright, there we go. That's much better. So, The Neon Demon is a film that I've been eagerly anticipating ever since I've heard about it. I avoided all the reviews and all the trailers, especially as for art house films, they tend to spoil them in the trailers, because they don't really know how to market them. So essentially all I knew is that it was directed by Winding Refn, and that's all I had to know. He's one of my absolute favorite directors that not only makes visually stunning films, but also explores some very interesting and profound themes, and usually in an either unique or controversial way. So that's more or less what I expected from The Neon Demon, and I actually got a lot more than I expected. Yes, this film undoubtedly exceeded my expectations. Right from the very start, the opening sequence alone, combined with this amazingly alluring soundtrack, which is a given for his films now, it gave off this sort of Kubrick-esque vibe. I honestly felt like I was experiencing some sort of Clockwork Orange mastery here, which is quite impressive. This captivating vibe continues right from the beginning to the very end. Each shot, each frame and composition feels like it's saying something. It's an incredibly gorgeous visual experience that doesn't feel shallow. Everything has a clear meaning and purpose. Because, you know, you could have a film that looks very pretty, but doesn't offer much more in any other aspects. But thankfully, that doesn't apply here at all. I'm probably going to be using the term experience quite a lot, because this really does feel like an amazing experience in so many aspects. And I'm genuinely so glad I had the chance to see this film at the cinema, because I almost didn't. It really is a shame that art house masterpieces such as this one don't get better distribution. I was anticipating the release date so much, only to find out that it's playing in just a few select cinemas, all of which were quite far away from me. Of course it wouldn't be playing at the cinema that's like 5 minutes away from my house, but I guess that's just my luck. It was a very limited release in terms of time as well. The last and only screening was held in Reading at midnight, and my friend actually agreed to drive there and see the film with me. Needless to say, it was worth the trip. As soon as we left the cinema, we took a little walk around the city nightlights, discussing the hidden meanings and the visual metaphors, and generally just how much the film impressed us both. It was actually quite reassuring that he liked it as much as me, because it's safe to say that this film is an acquired taste. I know that sounds pretty pretentious, but look how many people enjoy Drive compared to Only God Forgives.
You wanna fight?
But anyway, I haven't even mentioned the plot yet, so basically the film revolves around this 16-year-old girl named Jessie who enters the fashion industry and essentially accelerates in moving up due to her youthful beauty, and how that changes her as a person. It is a fairly simple plot, but that's fine. For me it's all about the execution, and Winding Refn definitely provides us with a unique presentation on this topic. I don't think it would be fair to criticize this film based on the simplicity of its plot. The plot is essentially just used as a vehicle to carry all this clever symbolism, all these visual metaphors exposing the artifice of the fashion industry, and even more so the beauty-obsessed people that get involved in it.
Now, look at Jessie. Nothing fake, nothing false. A diamond in a sea of glass. True beauty is the highest currency we have. Now, without it, she would be nothing.
Initially, my only criticism was going to be towards the dialogue, which didn't feel very natural most of the time, as well as the acting, which felt a little stiff at certain points. However, the more I think about it, the more I believe the dialogue was executed this way on purpose, mainly to reflect the shallow nature of the world that Jessie enters. There is definitely a dreamlike atmosphere to all this, and I think some of the more awkward or stiff acting actually contributes to it. And you may be thinking that I'm just making up excuses to defend this film, but even Lynch utilized similar techniques in his films, mainly in Mulholland Drive and Wild at Heart. Besides, even if the awkwardness is noticeable, it never really detracts from the message or the overall experience. The whole film is consistently compelling all the way through, and I think that's the most important thing. In regards to acting in general though, everyone pulled off a pretty good job. Elle Fanning fit her role perfectly as this innocent little soul. Not just because she's really cute, although that does help a lot, but every scene that required her to act awkward, shy or nervous felt quite authentic. Even her descent into this shallow, beauty-obsessed world felt very convincing, since usually it is quite difficult to convey such a drastic transformation in terms of personality without being over the top. Speaking of over the top, I was feeling quite skeptical about Keanu Reeves, since the last performance I saw from him was in Knock Knock.
What was I supposed to do? You sucked my cock, you both fucking sucked my cock! It was free pizza! Free fucking pizza!
Yeah, thankfully there was none of that in this film. He actually managed to portray an intimidating presence pretty damn well, so that was a pleasant surprise to say the least. Many of you are probably wondering if Winding Refn went too far with his fetish of gore and violence, since a lot of people criticized the torture sequence in Only God Forgives for going way too far and not actually having any purpose behind it. I do agree with that to an extent, because there was definitely a purpose behind it. I personally thought the symbolism was very evident, but it did go a bit too far in terms of length, and it looks like he definitely learned from his mistake, since he incorporates his gore fetish here in a suitable way. No scene ever feels cheated or as if the shock value is only there to shock you. Everything has a clear purpose and it never goes too far, at least in my opinion. If you're not very desensitized to disturbing elements in film, then I guess one scene in particular may offend you. But for me, it was perfect. In conclusion, The Neon Demon is a truly fascinating visual experience packed with a lot of clever symbolism and visual metaphors. This is definitely one of those films that makes you think. Apart from being a clever commentary on the artifice of beauty, it actually explores a lot more profound themes. It will stay in your mind long after it has finished, and it will undoubtedly spark some pretty interesting conversations. I mean, it's been like 10 days since I've seen the film, and I'm still thinking about it, which is why I'm giving The Neon Demon a very solid 9.5 out of 10. Just like with Only God Forgives, I'm pretty sure my appreciation for this film will only grow with each viewing, and I honestly can't wait to get the Blu-ray. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Thank you for watching.